they've just really thought through a lot of the feedback that I'm sure customers gave them. Credit to XG Cargo for being a brand that actually invests in the community. You know, they're always down at Easter Jeep Safari. They care about the off-road community, and I'm just so happy to see how they have updated this. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm excited to talk a little bit about a new Gen 2 version of the XG Cargo Gamma storage bags, which I run in the back of my Jeep. I have had these on a couple of Jeeps now. They're an awesome solution, especially for the cargo space. They just give you an additional area to add some gear. The Gen 1 version has been awesome. They've been a great solution. I keep some recovery gear in here. You can see what I keep in that in another video. I'll maybe try and put a link up in the video. They are an external frame system, so you'll see they have this external bar in the back. They've been good. There's definitely some areas for improvement, but good news, XG Cargo has designed a Gen 2 version, so we're gonna go ahead and get that installed. Before I head back to the garage though, to update the back of my Jeep with those, let's take a look at why they're different and why it's gonna be a nice upgrade. Right here, I have the Gen 2 version of the XG Cargo Gamma Stealth. They've totally redone how these are built. Now it's an internal frame system instead of the external frame system you see here, and it's using a billet aluminum mount solution. So instead of just popping into the roll bar, now it's got a much sturdier mount that I'll be able to pull some of this trim off the roll bar and then get this mounted on there. It will allow for me to easily pop these off, and when I'm running without the top in the summer, it'll look a lot cleaner, in addition to being a much sturdier mount, so I'm not gonna get any wobbling. The bags themselves have also been updated, so the material is all tarpaulin, so very durable material, very high quality. The exterior has a little bit of hook and loop on it, so you can put your patches or whatever else you want along with the standard MOLLE that they typically include. They have also gone through the interior and redesigned the interior of this so that it is a flat zip pouch. That way you don't have stuff falling down into the bottom here. They've just really thought through a lot of the feedback that I'm sure customers gave them. You credit to XG Cargo for being a brand that actually invests in the community. You know, they're always down at Easter Jeep Safari. They care about the off-road community, and I'm just so happy to see how they have updated this. In addition to the zip pockets in here and the pouch here that have flat sewn bottoms, so you don't have stuff sliding down. There's also a couple Velcro straps in here, so you're able to strap in, you know, if you've got some zip ties or maybe a couple tools you want to strap in here. That's just another nice feature. Now, in addition to the pouch itself, and again, look at the detail, you guys. I mean, just a nice foam back here. In addition to this, it's also going to come with an internal organizer pouch. So again, just as you'd expect, high quality material. It's a zip container. Obviously the shape here is so that it fits nicely into that main pouch, but then it's even organized. So these are removable. Obviously you can configure it however you'd like, but just gives you some added organization, which is again a step up from their Gen 1 version. And while the Gen 1 version's been great, I'm definitely excited to get the added benefit of some of the additional organization that the Gen 2 version is going to offer, in addition to that beefier mount on the roll bar. Now that you've seen a little bit of the difference in the materials, let's head back to the garage. We'll pull the old Gen 1 versions off, and we'll take a look at installing these, see how they look when they're fully mounted up and ready to go. Now, the old version of these, as I mentioned earlier, has an external frame around the bag, and it attaches with a T25 torque screw here that's in the trim, and then it has two buckles that go around your sport bar is the technical term, or roll bar, whatever you want to call it. And the new version, you're going to see why it's a better setup. It doesn't have an external frame. We're actually going to be putting a billet aluminum mount that goes directly into your sport bar here, and then allows you to easily remove these storage bags very quickly without having to do what I'm going to go through right now, which is just pulling out this torque screw and then popping off the external frame. All right, so we've got both of the Gen 1 versions off the roll bar. Let's go ahead and I'll walk you through what I keep in these Gama storage bags, and then I'll show you how we install the new ones. I like to keep a quick to access tow strap, recovery strap. I keep a couple of these small soft shackles. These are great for side-by-side or ATV recoveries. Keep an extra dog leash. It's just a cheapie I got for free from a vet visit, never fun. I have a donut, one of these. I don't know if you've seen these before, but it's similar to a snatch block that you can use with synthetic rope. You can't use that with a cable, but it's just nice to have options. And I keep an extra little sample bag of dog food in here for Genji in case we're camping and we go out for an extra day. So that's what I keep in one of these. Obviously, I have a lot of different recovery gear. I'll put a link up on the video somewhere if you want to see a full run through of what I carry in the Jeep. But just to show you what I keep in these XG cargo bags. Let's go through the other side. On the outside, I just keep a couple extra hitch pins. If you're ever out in the sand and you lose one, they're really hard to find. On the inside here, I have a really cool collapsible lantern. This is great for camping. If you're camping out of your vehicle, space saver. This is a Goal Zero. It works great. I keep a nice heavy duty knife in here, an emergency down jacket, an extra blow up pillow in case I forget it. For you dog owners out there, you know why you got to have a couple of these. A poncho, a nice, good quality poncho. Just a bandana. This is for Genji, the dog. Extra collapsible water dish for Genji. An extra hitch pin. And a carabiner for the dog, really. And then on the inside here, I also have another collapsible water dish and another hitch pin. I probably can get rid of both of these, but I don't need to carry two. And then I have a key in here for my Rotopax locking mount. And that's it. We're gonna put that stuff back in the new versions. So let's go ahead, get the new version installed. I'll run you through how to do that. Should take us less than 10 minutes. Here we go. So the first step in the install is removing the middle trim piece from your sports bar. And if you have a trim tool like this, it's very useful, but you could also use a flathead or even better, a plastic trim removal piece just to protect the paint on your sport bar. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm gonna slide this just up and you'll be able to feel where the clips are and you can just pop it out just like that. And let me show you, this is the type of clip they use on this trim piece. So it's really easy. If you just get a little leverage in there, it'll pop right out. So now that we've got this off, I'll do the same to the other side. The next step in this process will be installing the billet aluminum mount. And this is what the bags themselves will slide into. And what's great about this is it allows you to leave the mount in place and slide the bag on and off without issue. Before I mount this to my roll bar, I'm actually gonna take some protective tape and put it on the back here. And that's just gonna give me a little bit of protection so that when I mount them up to the roll bar, it's not directly on the paint and it'll just give it a little bit of a barrier there so that it's not rubbing any of my paint off. On the back of the mount, just run it all the way across and then take your razor blade, cut both ends off. Just like that. And then you can cut the hole out where your bolt's gonna go through. Once it's done, that's just gonna come up here. Goes right up against the roll bar. There's two existing bolt holes right here, and we'll use the supplied hardware and mount that up. Keep in mind, you'll know which one is the correct side because you want this knob. This locking knob is what's gonna keep your cargo bags in place, and it needs to be pointed downward. So you can't screw it up. They are side specific. You'll need a T40 to install the supplied hardware. Requires 2 bolts. We'll set this up right there. Again, using the existing bolt holes. As always, make sure you hand start these bolts. Don't just go crazy with the impact. And as usual, it's a good idea to alternate as you tighten before you really tighten these down. With these bolts, you want to go hand tight. They don't need to be torqued down crazy. You don't want to break anything. So I'm just going to go hand tight, and then I'll check it after we go wheel a couple of trails and see if they need to be tightened up a little bit more. We got that side installed. We'll do the other side, same thing. But just to show you, first of all, again, very different from the previous Gen 1 version. The nice thing about this is now I can just slide these right into place. This knob you can unlock. So to unlock it, you pull out and twist counterclockwise, and then to lock it back in, you just pull it and twist, and you'll hear it click, and now that bag is locked in there. There you have it. As you can see, the Stealth Gama by XG Cargo is a super simple storage solution, easy to install, and it's going to be very durable, I can tell already. The billet aluminum mount is extremely sturdy, and I love the fact that you can easily slide these off and on. So if you're like me and you like to run your Jeep without the top on in the summer, and you don't want any bags hanging off your roll bar when you're going topless, easy to remove these, and the black billet aluminum is going to keep your Jeep looking really clean. These do sit in a little bit closer in terms of they sit a little further inward than the Gen 1 version. I really like that because that's going to allow me to fit a little bit more in between the storage bag and the window. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I typically keep an emergency blanket back here, as well as a shovel and some rope. And so I think it's got enough extra space that I may even be able to slide a sleeping bag in there, which will make packing for camping a lot easier. So XG Cargo, I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. They make stuff for Jeeps and Broncos, and they have a variety of other storage solutions. Check them out. In the meantime, have fun out there, be safe, and as always, stay on the trails. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.